Good morning, student. This is the lecture number 29 of unit number 3, that is alloy steel. In this alloy steel, we have studied what is the total percentage or approximate percentage of carbon in the alloy steel. Then, what are the different types of steel? Then, in that types of steel, we have studied the high speed HSS steel, that is high speed steel. Then Hatfield steel, that is manganese steel. Then high carbon high chromium steel, stainless steel, different types of stainless steel we have studied. Then what are the different heat treatment performed on the different types of steel. Then uh, what is the properties, applications of the different types of steel, that we have already covered. Okay, so in the last lecture we have studied whatever the surface treatment performed on the uh, what we can say that is HSS steel, high speed steel component, means surface treatment performed on the high speed steel. Then next we have started, that is the properties of alloying elements. Now first we will have to study what are the different types of alloying elements. The list of alloying elements such as nickel, chromium, molybdenum, tungsten, vanadium, aluminium, copper. Okay, these are the different types of alloying elements. Okay, uh, so today we will have to study the properties of the all the alloying elements. Out of that, first alloying element is nickel. Okay, nickel content or the steel content 2 to 5%, means 2 to 5% nickel and 0.1 to 0.5% carbon. Increases is strength and toughness, means suppose we have added the 2 to 5% nickel and 0.1 to 0.5% carbon in the steel, the properties of steel increases, that is the strength and toughness of the steel will increases. Now in this range, nickel contribute a great tensile strength, means we are adding 2 to 5% nickel, that range of percentage of nickel in the steel contribute a great tensile strength, yield strength, toughness, forming properties and hardness with higher elastic limit. Okay, good ductility, good resistance to corrosion. Okay, these are the different properties will be achieved by the addition of nickel in the steel. Okay, it has a nearly zero coefficient of expansion. Now that coefficient of expansion is related to the deformation at the time of or during the time of metal working processes performed on the steel. As we are using the steel for metal working process, it may be a hot working or cold working. In that case, there will be some deformation occur after the performance of that all the working process. Okay, but the nickel has a zero coefficient of expansion, that's why there will be no or negligible deformation at the time of working process, metal working processes. That's why these steel containing the steel containing nickel is used for manufacturing of the measuring instruments. Okay, means whatever the measuring instruments such as a metal roll or a metal scale, is it, means there are some different gauges or measuring instruments are manufactured by using the steel containing nickel. Okay, this is regarding the properties of the nickel and uses or applications of the nickel. Then next, chromium is the alloying element. Okay, it improves corrosion resistance, and in the previous slide also we have studied, as we are adding the chromium in the steel, it prevent the rusting as well as the corrosion of the steel, because of in the steel iron and carbon is present, and atmosphere content oxygen or moisture content. Okay, as the iron will combine with the oxygen present in the atmosphere, it will form iron oxide, and there will be some brown color rusting surface will be generated at the surface of the component. Okay, and it will be prevented by the addition of chromium. That chromium will combine with oxygen and it will form chromium oxide, and iron will remain as it is, means the chromium oxide layer will be formed on the surface of the component, hence it will prevent the corrosion of the component. Okay, that chromium is added in the range of 12 to 18%. Okay, it increases tensile strength, hardness, wear resistance and heat resistance. Okay, by the addition of chromium, what are the different properties will increase it, that is tensile strength, hardness, wear resistance and heat resistance. That four properties will be increases by the addition of chromium. It provide stainless properties in the steel. Stainless property means the corrosion or the rusting of the steel will prevented. The chrome nickel steel is extensively used for motor car crank, means whatever the internal combustion engine parts such as a crank, crankshaft, axle, gears, these are the component of the what we can say that component of the mechanical instruments, it which is requires some greater strength and hardness, and which will be purchased by the steel containing chromium in the range of 12 to 18%. Okay, the chrome steel is used for ball, roller and racers of the bearings. Okay, whatever the component in the bearing we have observed, that is roller, then balls and racers, means races means what, in which that ball or rollers will rotates or slide, is it, that is nothing but the races, is it. So this is the properties and application or uses of the chromium uh, alloying elements. Okay, the next alloying element is tungsten. It increases the hardness, wear resistance, shock resistance and magnetic reluctance. As we have seen that tungsten material in the tungsten inert gas welding. In the third semester you have studied manufacturing process 1. In manufacturing process 1, welding processes such as a arc welding process. In arc welding process, that is metal inert gas welding, tungsten inert gas welding, these two types of processes we have studied. In metal inert gas welding, that electrode is use of a metal, and that electrode is a consumable electrode. But in case of the tungsten inert gas welding, that tungsten is a non-consumable electrode, because the melting point of tungsten is higher as compared to the metal to be वेल्डेड. म्हणजे जो वर्कपीस मेटल आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा ऑब्वियसली जर आपण कास्ट आयर्न कन्सिडर केलं किंवा माइल्ड स्टील कन्सिडर केलं, कॉपर, brass, okay, that all the materials or alloys have the melting point less as compared to, or lower melting point as compared to tungsten. That's why that tungsten used in the metal inert gas welding, it is used as a non-consumable electrode. Okay, that's why it increases the ability to retain hardness and toughness at a higher temperature. Okay, it prohibits grain growth and increases wear resistance, shock resistance, toughness and depth of hardening of quenching, means after quenching, depth of hardening after quenching. The principle, the uses of that tungsten steel are for cutting tools, means whatever the cutting tools, then dies, walls, taps and permanent magnet. Now cutting tools we are used in the cutting industry such as that milling cutter, drilling cutter, then what we can say that single point cutting tools. Okay, the tungsten steel are used. Then dies means what, त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो मराठीत, साचा, ज्याच्यापासून आपण जे स्टॅच्यूज बनवतो, लक्ष्मीची मूर्ती बनवतो, गणपतीची मूर्ती किंवा बैल बनवतो, बरोबर आहे. तर दॅट डाईज, okay, that dies are also manufactured by using tungsten steel. Then walls of the some different taps, okay, that are manufactured by tungsten. Then taps म्हणजेच काय म्हणू आपण, जे बेसिन सिंक आहेत किंवा जे वॉशरूम टॅप्स आहेत, that are manufactured by using tungsten. Then permanent magnets are used in the railway for the generation of electromagnetic force. Okay, so these are the applications of the tungsten as well as the different properties of the tungsten that will be obtained by the addition in the steel. Okay, so this is nothing but the tungsten. Then next is vanadium. It improve the tensile strength, elastic limit, ductility, fatigue resistance. These are the different property will be achieved by the addition of vanadium in the steel, as well as the shock resistance and response to heat treatment. Okay, it also act as a degasser when added to molten metal. Now we know that when we pour the molten metal in the mold cavity, in the MP1 we have studied manufacturing of the casting by using mold. Okay, as we are pouring the molten metal in the mold cavity, it is in a high, it is having higher temperature. Okay, so because of that, some explosive gases, or we can say that the some tremendous amount of gases will be emitted from the molten metal, and by the addition of that vanadium, that degasser, it will act as a degasser, means that whatever the gases emitted in the mold, that will be eliminated, as that gases will trap, means we are pouring the molten metal through the getting system or screw. In that case, what will happen, the gases will trap inside the casting, and the casting will become defective. That gas will trap inside the casting, and blowholes like defect will be obtained in the casting. Is it? So in order to prevent that casting defects, the the gases uh, emission will be prevented. That's why the vanadium will act as a degasser. Okay, and it aids in obtaining a fine grain structure in the tool steel. Is it? Okay, the addition of a very fine small amount of vanadium, less than 0.2%, produce a marked increase in the tensile strength, elastic limit in low and medium carbon steel without a loss of ductility. Without a loss of ductility. Is it? So this is nothing but the different properties possessed by the vanadium when it is added to steel. Now these steel are frequently used for parts such as the spring, shaft, gears, pins, and many drop forge parts. Is it? Means as that vanadium is added into the steel, and that steel is used for the frequently used for the manufacturing of the parts such as the spring. That springs are used in the different suspension work, such as the two-wheeler bikes, as well as in four-wheeler cars, then in the shaft, gear, pins, and many drop forge parts. Means this is the application of the steel which is containing vanadium. Okay, as well as the different properties will obtained by the addition of vanadium in the steel. Is it? Then next, cobalt. When cobalt is added to steel, it refines the graphite and pearlite and acts as a grain refiner. We have already studied that in the iron carbon equilibrium diagram, the as the alpha ferrite and cementite will obtain mixture of eutectoid mixture of alpha ferrite and cementite is nothing but the pearlite, and the cementite will be present in the graphite form. Okay, and it will act as a grain refiner, means whatever the separate grains will refine in by the addition of cobalt in the steel. It improves the hardness, toughness, tensile strength, and thermal resistance. These are the different properties will be achieved by the addition of cobalt in the steel. Then next is aluminium. Okay, it is used as a deoxidizer. Deoxidizer means what? The whatever the oxidation of the steel will takes place, that oxidation will prevented by the addition of aluminium, because aluminium is having a greater corrosion resistance and wear resistance also. If present in an amount of 1%, it helps promoting nitriding. Is it? And that as the weight of aluminium is much lighter, that's why that steel which is containing aluminium is used for the marine industry, as well as in the space industry. In marine industry, that boat or outer surface of the ship or boat is always is in contact with the marine water, that is saline water, and we know that the saline water is the responsible higher responsible for the rusting as well as the corrosion of the metals. But as we are adding the aluminum in the steel, it will prevent the rusting as well as corrosion, whether that boat or outer surface of the ship is in contact with the sea water. It will prevent the rusting of the component. Is it? And next, that as it is having lightweight, therefore it is used in the space industry. Is it? That is, space shuttles will be having or manufactured by using steel which containing higher amount of aluminium. Okay, these are the different applications as well as the properties of the aluminium. Okay, then copper improves resistance to corrosion. We know that it increases strength, more than 0.6% copper from precipitation. Now we know that copper is a good conductor of the electricity, that's why it is used in the electrical wires, is it? And the wire drawing will be possible because the ductility, that copper is highly ductile and malleable, is it? And it is also having a good corrosion resistance property, that's why as we are adding that copper in the steel, the corrosion resistance property will increases, and it has different uses in the electronic industry, is it? Then next type of that alloying element is titanium. It acts as a good deoxidizer and promotes grain growth. Now deoxidizer means we know that is oxidation of the iron, means rusting of the iron will be prevented by the addition of tin in the steel and promote the grain growth. Grain growth means what? As we are manufacturing any component by casting process, we know that what we will have to do, we will have to first melt that steel, pour it into the mold cavity. After pouring into the mold cavity, it will take some time for the solidification of the complete that casted material, okay? Because we have poured that molten metal at a higher or elevated temperature in the mold cavity, that's why it will take some more time to solidify, is it? But that by the addition of titanium, what will happen, it will promote the grain growth. Now in the solidification of pure metal, we studied that first means during the at the time of first grain growth will takes place in the that in that mold cavity, okay? And then after the grain growth, means first nucleation will start, then new growth of the nuclei will takes place, then new grains will form, then grain growth will takes place, and then grain growth will mesh with one another, and like this way the complete solidification of the mold will takes place, molten metal will takes place. Means it has a two property, that is it will act as a deoxidizer and promote the grain growth. It prevent formation of austenite in higher chromium steel. It promote the formation of austenite in higher chromium steel, and it is the strongest carbide former, is it? हा का एक स्ट्रॉंगेस्ट कार्बाइड फॉर्मर आहे, and it will use to fix carbon in a stainless steel and thus prevent the precipitation of chromium carbide, is it? So this is the use of and properties of the titanium by the addition in the steel. Then next alloying element is the silicon. Silicon, it improves the magnetic permeability and decreases the hysteresis losses. Hysteresis losses means hysteresis losses is nothing but the errors in the instrument, okay? That hysteresis losses you will study in the measurement system in the 5th semester, okay? It decreases the weldability, forgeability. It is also added as a deoxidizer during casting of the ingot. It is also acts as a deoxidizer during the casting of the ingot. That ingot means a mass of molten metal which has started the solidification. It takes care of oxygen present in a steel by forming SiO2, that is silicon oxide. That silicon steel behave like a nickel steel. These steel have a high elastic limit as compared to ordinary carbon steel, is it? The silicon steel contain from 1 to 2% silicon and 0.1 to 0.4% carbon. Means the steel containing silicon which is having 1 to 2% silicon, 0.1 to 0.4% carbon, and other alloying elements are used for electrical machinery. Means other alloying elements are used for electrical machinery, then walls in IC engine, springs and corrosion resisting material. Means the different components such as the electrical machinery, walls in the IC engines, we know that in the IC engine there is inlet and outlet valves. For suction of the air fuel mixture there is inlet valve, and for exhaust there is the output valve is there, outlet valve, input and output valve, is it? That valves are manufactured by using the steel containing silicon, then springs and the corrosion resisting materials are manufactured by using the silicon. Okay, so this is nothing but the uses and applications of the silicon. The next alloying element is manganese. Okay, it improve the strength of the steel in both the hot rolled and treated condition. It improves the strength of the steel. By the addition of manganese, the strength of steel will increases. You can observe that the few properties are common in every alloying element, but there are some few exceptional properties that will be obtained by the addition of alloying element in the steel. Is it okay? The manganese alloy steel containing 1.5% manganese with a carbon range of 0.4 to 0.55% are used in a gear, axle, shaft and other part where high strength combined with a fair ductility is required. Means as containing 1.5% manganese with a carbon in range of 0.4 to 0.55%, that steel which is containing manganese in that range, which will be used for the manufacturing of gear. We know that gear is used to transmit the power from one shaft to other shaft in a compact distances. Okay, axle is a shaft which is used to support the rotating component. ॲक्सल कुठे पाहतो आपण जनरली, फ्रंट व्हीलला असते ॲक्सल, रेअर व्हीलला असते ॲक्सल. ओके, देन ॲक्सल यू हॅव ऑब्झर्ड इन वेल, जे विहिरीवर आपण जे पाणी काढतो विहिरीमधून, तर जे पुली ज्या कंपोनंटवर रोटेट होते, ओके, दॅट इज ऑल्सो ॲक्सल. मीन्स ॲक्सल इज अ फिक्स्ड ॲट बोथ एंड बट विच सपोर्ट द रोटेटिंग कंपोनंट. अँड शाफ्ट काय पॉवर ट्रान्समिटिंग कंपोनंट आहे विच इज used to transmit the shaft from one end to other end, and other part where high strength combined with fair ductility is required. Okay, the principal use of manganese steel is in machinery parts subjected to severe wear. प्रिन्सिपल यूज काय आहे की ज्या पार्ट्समध्ये काय होते, सिव्हिअर वेअर होते बिकॉज ऑफ द कंटिन्युअस फ्रिक्शन. ओके, बिटवीन द टू मॅटिंग पार्ट्स. त्या ठिकाणी काय करते, जो स्टील यूज होते, ते स्टील यूज होते त्यामध्ये मॅग्नीजचं जे पर्सेंटेज आहे दॅट विल बी इन बिटवीन 1.5%. ओके, दीज स्टील्स आर ऑल कास्ट अँड ग्राउंड टू फिनिश. ओके, द कास्टिंग विल बी पॉसिबल बाय युझिंग the steel containing manganese and the surface finishing will obtain, that is also very good. Okay, this is the different properties of the manganese and applications of the manganese. Then carbon. Okay, the next alloying element is a carbon. It increases the tensile strength and hardness, it decreases ductility, weldability, it affects the melting point. Is it in the second unit when we have studied the carbon equilibrium diagram, at that time I have given you the complete introduction of the carbon. Carbon is an organic compound, okay, organic material, and in organic chemistry we have studied the carbon. Is it very well? कार्बनची जी व्हॅलन्सी आहे ती किती राहते, 4, बरोबर. आणि ॲज वी आर इन्क्रीजिंग द पर्सेंटेज ऑफ कार्बन, द हार्डनेस, ब्रिटलनेस ऑफ द स्टील विल increases. Then ductility, malleability, weldability, then machinability, that all 4 properties will be decreases by the addition of carbon. Is it? Because carbon is the toughest and hardest phase in the steel. Because of that, the machinability, weldability, ductility and malleability, that 4 properties decreases by the addition of the carbon. Okay, but strength of the material will increases, hardness increases, brittleness increases. Okay, so few properties are important, the advantages point of view, and few properties have certain disadvantages also in consideration with the different application point of view. Okay, so these are the different alloying elements which we have studied in this lecture. Now this is the end of the unit number 3. Okay, till now we have completed 4 unit. Now unit number 4, that is cast iron, and the unit number 6, that is powder metallurgy. That 2 units are remaining in our syllabus. Now we will have to take one test related to the unit number 3, that is alloy steel, in the upcoming lecture, that is on Saturday. I will post some questions related to unit number 3. Okay, so for today we have studied the different alloying elements, different properties and uses of the alloying element. Thank you.